Father Malone, not to say you make me uncomfortable, but I know how much you like this movie. I know how important this movie is to you. We have talked about movies that are important to you several times on this show. I believe the last one that we did was The Cook, The Thief, Her Lover, The Cook?
His Wife and Her Lover, yes.
Yeah, all of that. The title who I can't ever get right. And now we're going to be talking about a movie whose title does not have that many names in it. It has all of 2 names in it. But it does make me feel a little weird to talk about movies that are important to you. Because, there are movies that I really like Freaked and Goodfellas. And I guess they're probably important to me in a way. But I think when we talk about ourselves and you and I and other people we know, and I'm not saying everybody does this. I don't think everybody can do this, but when we talk about ourselves sometimes and when we mythologize ourselves, there are some things that matter a little bit more than others. I've heard you mention this before in passing, so I've got to understand that this is probably one of those movies for you. We've never really done any of those movies for me yet. Maybe we never will. I don't know.
We should, I know we haven't actually, because I don't know what they are.
I'm not sure. Well, it's not that I don't know what they are, but I would have to sit and really think about something that
formative films is what we're talking about.
Yeah, there are movies that are formative for me. I think Fletch is a lot more formative than, it is. Fletch is probably the closest I've ever gotten to talking about something that's like I love Glengarry Glen Ross, but there's some things about it that have influenced me, but when I watched this movie, I was like, man, I get it. I get it. And I get why, at least on a cursory glance, why you, have resonated with this movie. And on this episode of the Kulturecast, I am still your host, Chris Stachiw, much to the chagrin of at least one person out there in the world. And now I can say there's at least one. Yeah, right, boy.
Probably 2, honestly.
Well, 3, maybe. Actually, at least 2. You're right. In my case, if you know me, if you know that it is 2. Boy, aren't I a lucky boy? And I'm joined by my good friend all the way from Midnight Viewing. It's a bi-weekly show, and not once every other week. It's twice a week. That kind of bi-weekly, the kind that's actually a lot of work. Your friend and mine, Father Malone.
Hello. I wish I had something snappy to say about Sid and Nancy. I could probably throw any number of a million quotes, but anyway, hi, I'm here. You know what? I'm also. You said you're uncomfortable talking about movies that were formative for me. Well, this is the one that I'm actually kind of uncomfortable talking about. So there's that. Yeah,
I am excited to talk about it with you, but I am also excited to give you kind of a wide berth here in a little bit of a way, because I was going to jokingly say, and you were like, I didn't have anything snappy to say, and it's like, well, I think you're about to be given the opportunity to, as we say in the industry, wax rhapsodically, because it is September and it is Father Malone month. We don't have a clever name this year because we just don't. But we will next year.
I think it's a fine name.
Father Malone month. All right. As long as you're cool with it. We are about halfway through the month, and we are taking a look at 1986's biopic, which is a thing that, that raises the hairs on the back of my neck immediately. Sid and Nancy.
Hi! Sid, we've got company!
I love this Texas.
Regrets.
Are you going to make an honest woman out of our Nancy, Sid? Sydney's more than a mere bass player. He's a fabulous disaster. He has a Sex Pistol. All your human needs are seen to.
Much more than this. I didn't know. There were times, I'm sure
You like me, don't you?
when there was fuck all else to do. But when there was do, I shut it out or kept it down.
You really think you can buy Sid off of me?
love you.
So the film is directed by Alex Cox, written by Alex Cox and Abby Wool, and it stars, well, Gary Oldman. But hey, let's just make the joke now. Gary Youngman. Gary Youngman, not Oldman.
Gary, the youngest man, like Gary Boy almost.
Yeah, Child Man. Gary Childman and Chloe Webb play the titular Sid and Nancy, Nancy Spungen and Sid Vicious. There you go. If you know nothing about their story, we will be talking spoilers. If you do know about their story, boy, I bet you're along for a ride, just like I was. I'm going to turn it over to you, Father Malone. Because again, like I said, I know cursory as to why we're picking this movie and talking about it, but I'm going to turn the floor over to you, as they say, and let you get as comfortable and uncomfortable as you wish with the 1986's Sid and Nancy, Love Kills, which, by the way, terrible title, terrible secondary title. Sounds like Dracula.
The original title was Love Kills, so it got swapped to Sid and Nancy.
I know, which is even, it's worse that they left it in there, but I'm grateful that that was not the original title.
Sid and Nancy, there's formative and then there's formative. There's movies that you kind of feel a kinship to, that you feel it reflects you, and then there's movies that kind of change you in a fundamental way. This is the most romantic movie of all time for me. People give me a sideward glance when I say that usually, but it really.
No, I get it. I 100 that is not a surprising thing to hear you say. I get that 100%, if not agree with you 100% in a lot of ways.
I was thinking about this movie today, and when I think of images in movies, I'm always looking for a poetical moment in a movie, a lyrical moment in a movie, moments that are for the characters and not for the viewer necessarily. Moments where we get to peek in on their lives in a way that is a little bit more representational, a little bit more, as I said, lyrical, a little bit more fantasy almost. And this movie has my favorite moment of all time with that. To me, the most romantic image of all time. But then I started thinking, well, yeah, that one, but then there's this other one. Oh, and another. I think there are 5 moments in this movie, 5 shots, scenes that I think are some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen committed to film, and only sort of hammered home to me how romantic the fucking movie is. We'll get into those later, I suppose, because they're pretty spectacular. But this movie came out in 1986. I was 13 years old. I was in 8th grade. I got on the train and went into Cambridge, Massachusetts. I saw this at the Lowe's Cambridge Square, I believe, which is also the theater where they performed Rocky Horror on weekends. So I was actually at this theater quite a bit. By this time, my musical taste had already sort of shifted from regular kind of pop music to the Cramps and flirting with punk rock, but more rockabilly, psychobilly than anything. The Blasters, those kind of bands. And I caught a television trailer for this movie where I only caught the very, very end of it. And it's the My Way sequence. It's Sid and Nancy standing on the stairs. One of those images, by the way. And I thought, well, I have to see that.
Right.
So I went in on the weekend and I saw it, and I feel like everything in my life changed kind of at that moment. Musically, like I said, I'd already been leaning in that direction, but the next couple of years of my life are full 1000% punk rock. And I was 13 years old and young and feeling romantic feelings anyway, and certainly had my glut of what we're told what romance is and what love is supposed to be. And here was a whole other way to fall in love, it seemed to me. And as great as any other romantic film has been, none of them ever really spoke to me in a way that shows you the immediacy of love, the addiction of love.
Correct. That's, yeah.
Now, here's the thing. Alex Cox, I've read an interview with him maybe 5-10 years ago, criticizing himself for the movie, saying that he didn't lean heavily enough into the grubbier aspects of their lifestyle and didn't sort of hammer home the tragedy of their life. He leaned too hard into the romantic, he felt.
He didn't give it the schnook moment that Scorsese does in Goodfellas.
Yeah, you know what? Fuck you. You made the movie. It's out there. Here it is.
Right.
And you know what? Like, the only people who are going to respond to the romantic aspects are the people who feel that way anyway. You know, this isn't going to change anyone's mind and go make them be a heroin addict or anything like that. Like, the movie is what it is, and the real life is what it is. What that is. Like, you can go read Nancy Spungen. I've heard plenty of horror stories about her as a person, and Sid as a person, and you know, musically he was terrible, and you know, he was basically just a sweet kid who kind of got swept up into this whole thing, and but none of that matters, because what matters is this movie here.
Can we just get that out of the way here immediately? Like, if we're talking about this as a realistic thing that's portraying the real lives, like, this could not be further from reality in a lot of ways. Like, every piece of research that I did, and you're going to echo it here, this is just, we're talking about the movie. The real people, better, worse, doesn't matter. This is not representative of them in most, if not all ways, I think, is what I could at least suss out and glean from all the research that I did. There are two people. They were based off of these two people, but to what end? Not this end.
Okay. I think I've now explained just how fucking transformative this movie was for me, right?
Yeah.
So I moved to Los Angeles in 1991. Maybe 2 years later, I'm friends with a cinematographer named Tom Richmond, who shares a house with Alex Cox. And Alex is in Europe, I believe, when I'm friends with Tom and hanging around at said house. But one evening, I find myself on a couch next to Abby Wool.
In a Holiday Inn, Paramus?
No.
That's you know how many times it took me looking at her to realize that's what she was from? God, of all the goddamn things.
So I kind of, we didn't become friends or anything, but I was around Abby enough that I got to talk to her about this movie a lot.
Right.
And it was one of the weirdest moments in my life where I got to thank the person for the movie that they had given me. And look, the fact is that script says Alex Cox and Abby Wool. Abby Wool wrote that script. In fact, the more romantic portions of the movie all come from Abby. One of I'll just mention it here because it's in the trailer and everyone's seen it. It's the most sort of iconic image of it's on the poster, for fuck's sake, when Sid and Nancy are in an alleyway kissing and garbage is raining all around them in slow motion. It's gorgeous. It's probably my favorite piece of film in general. And that was Abby, who it was the end of the day and saw this alleyway and grabbed a camera and grabbed those guys and made them like do that shot. So anyway, Abby Wool's influence on this movie is sort of inestimable. And it was just weird to be able to pick her brain about certain things, including the veracity of the movie, like as long as they were hitting certain beats look. Right.
Certain things have to happen in this.
Like, movie. Yeah, nearly everything that happened in this movie happened, aside of Flights of Fancy and kind of those kind of things. But obviously they've condensed and shrank events to fit it into this 2-hour time frame, because like the Sex Pistols thing, like clearly you can make an entire television series out of the Sex Pistols story, but that's only like the first maybe third of this movie, right? Maybe half.
Yeah, first half, I would say, for sure.
Right. Because the movie's called Sid and Nancy. And this isn't an Oliver Stone situation where he calls the movie The Doors and just focuses on Jim Morrison. No, this is about Sid and Nancy, not the Sex Pistols.
Bohemian Rhapsody? Freddie Mercury? What?
Yeah, it's bad news. Why would you name that movie Bohemian Rhapsody? What does that even mean?
I have no idea.
Like, how does that, I mean, yes, we know it's the name of the fucking song, whatever, but like, how does that relate to the story being told? Is this a Bohemian Rhapsody we're seeing? Is this a Bohemian?
It's just the name of the song.
God almighty, man.
So Abby Wool would not go on to write a whole hell of a lot else that would make as big of an impact as this, which is surprising.
No, but she did write and direct Roadside Prophets, which is another favorite movie of mine. Just unbelievably good. Like the all too easy catchphrase of it was, or description of it was, easy rider for the 90s, which it It was. It's John Doe from X, the band X, and Adam Horowitz from the Beastie Boys on a road trip to deliver a friend's ashes to Jackpot, Nevada. And they're on motorcycles. It's great.
Sounds interesting.
And they just run into fucking kooky people along the way. It's wonderful.
It sounds a little bit more upbeat than this movie.
It's
shockingly upbeat compared to this movie, I bet.
It is remarkably upbeat in comparison, yeah.
It's not that this isn't an upbeat movie, but Gary Oldman's performance.
Yes.
Is, I mean, it's something, right?
Are you saying it's something like over the top? Or are you saying something?
No. I'm saying it's something amazing. It's just, I mean, look, we all know all of us know Gary Oldman from a certain time in a certain place. And like, you know, your entry point to Gary Oldman's career is a very long range at this point. Like, this was clearly yours. I think that mine really probably the first time, and you're going to laugh, I think was as Commissioner Gordon in those Batman.
That is fucking shocking.
I mean, subsequent, I've seen him in plenty of others.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's in RoboCop.
Was he in RoboCop?
Yeah, I think he's in RoboCop. I believe he's like... No, is that Michael Keaton that's in RoboCop?
No, it's Michael Keaton.
Oh, sorry, right.
He was in it in addition to Michael Keaton? That doesn't sound...
We couldn't somehow make this worse. I'm trying to think if Gary Oldman has been in any, like... Because Batman is kind of like the big thing he was in.
Yeah.
The big mainstream thing that...
Fifth Element. That was a very popular movie.
That's not a movie that I would ever... Because of the Chris Tucker of it all, I stay away from that one.
I think most of America got their actual taste of it from Air Force One.
Actually, we're fucking morons, and people are screaming at us right now.
What?
Oh, I can't. Sirius Black. No, Harry Potter.
Well, Dracula. He was the lead.
But he's fucking Sirius Black in Harry Potter.
I know that's for your generation.
I'm not saying for my generation. I mean, look, I think that's for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, that's what they know him as now. Sure, but like I'm saying, when he made his big splash, like look, when he hit the scene with this, and then fucking Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead, and then State of Grace, I was the only one going, yeah, I love this guy. You know what I mean?
I guess actually, no, that's right. That would have been the same year. So I saw Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead in 2008, the same year I saw The Dark Knight. I guess Batman. He was in Batman Begins, but he wasn't nearly as big of a part in Batman Begins as he is in The Dark Knight. So yeah, I would have seen him in Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead in 2008. So yeah, this is the early entry point, I think, for most people with Gary Oldman, right?
And what, Sid and Nancy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's his first thing.
Right. But I mean, like, I'm also saying, like, this was seen by a shitload of people, too, is my point. Like, a lot of, this is not just some, like, oh, this is the first movie that you're in. Like, no, this is a pretty big deal first movie for you to be in. You're playing a real person in an Alex Cox post-Repo Man movie. So... Not that Repo Man burned down the cinemas or anything, but for a lot of us, Repo Man is,
it's seminal.
Yes, I agree, but you know what I mean. I mean, Repo Man didn't light up the cinemas, unfortunately, for as much as we both, and I'm sure many of us love Repo Man. Well, yeah, Gary, look, for Gary Oldman, it's preternatural, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at here, is what it seems like to me.
I didn't watch the movie again. For this because I don't have to. This is one of the ones that I don't. But I did watch the opening, say 20 minutes or so, right? And our first dealings with Sid when he's in that cell, or the interrogation cell, and the cop comes and gives him a cigarette. He is so shattered as a human being there, and part of it is he's dope sick, and part of it is he's completely in shock, and part of it is he knows Nancy's gone. It's incredible.
So Gary Oldman was in one other movie before this one, but it was in 82, and so it was him and Timothy Spall and a couple other people. That was their first movie, but this is his first leading, obviously. And yeah, to open the movie with the murder of Nancy and to have him essentially where we're going to end up seeing him at the end of the movie, I think it's really smart to open the movie that way, because we get to see the juxtaposition of, oh, look at how fucked up he is. You're about to see how fucked up he really, like, because this is a different kind of fucked up than what we see throughout the rest of the movie. I mean, this is like unable to exist fucked up.
Oh yeah, it's all over that.
Yeah, there's no coping here. The fucked up in this before was the coping. Now it's like there is no coping. You're broken and beyond fucked up.
All that's left is pizza, dancing with kids, and waiting for a cab.
Well, and heroin.
No,
Wow.
No, it doesn't figure into the ending, my friend.
I mean, it does, but it doesn't.
The police station. He gets some pizza. He dances with some kids, and he dies. Yes, of course, he fucking died of a heroin overdose.
But he died off screen. He went back to his home planet, and he poochied.
They even put up a little chyron at the end, a little graffiti chyron to let us know he died a few days later.
Yeah, but we don't have to see it because we know it's over. But it's apparent that it's over when the movie opens. Is my point, and that's your point as well. It's like he's gone beyond before we even get to see him as a character in the movie. It's already too late for him as a character.
Yeah. And what a character. I think
yeah, right. Jesus H. Christ. Good for Gary Oldman being this talented at something. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. Like, good for him, you know?
Yeah. And he's charming too in this, you know, like there's a lot of drunken, stupid Sid. There's a lot of smacked out, drooling Sid. But then there's a lot of charming Sid as well. And that may be what Alex Cox is getting at. Like, there are moments where he's like a normal human being. But at the same time, I don't think the character's not on drugs from frame one in this movie. Like, I think they're all fucked up on something or other the whole time.
Motherfuckers are eating beans and champagne. First 5 minutes of the movie, like, they're all fucked up. Like, yeah, I guess, like, Alex Cox, my response to him would be yours. Like, do we think people became heroin addicts from watching this movie? Like, come on, dude. If anything, people want to be rock and rollers from watching this movie, but probably not. It doesn't have to be a self-destructive lifestyle because there are plenty of people that do it all the time that don't. But
those stories are uninteresting.
Right, exactly. Like, you know, where's the Jimmy Buffett story? I mean, I'm not saying James Taylor didn't do heroin because he did. He did fucking heroin. You know, he did, but James Taylor's story is not as nearly excitingly self-destructive as Sid Vicious's is.
Well, here's the sad but brutal meat hook reality. Had Sid and Nancy not died and they just continued their lives, we wouldn't be talking about them right now. There'd be no movie. There'd be no nothing. They would be a footnote in history. He would have died some other way. And then when the Sex Pistols got back together for their filthy lucre tour, we'll talk about hanging a lamp on it. Fuck you guys. You're like, you don't get to cash in and say, oh, look at us cashing in. And we would never heard of them again. Like, it's a sickening fact, actually, that I know Elizabeth Short from Medford, Massachusetts, because she was the Black Dahlia. I would never have heard of her before.
Right. But hey, but you do.
But I do. And yeah, I mean, look.
I think if anything, Alex Cox maybe let Nancy off too light and not Sid, because the stories that I read about her and the things that I read about her, she's a lot more charming in the movie than I think she may have been. And I think it was also I think it's some of the mental illness of it all of the movie. And that's not something that they really touched on, which I understand why they wouldn't have, because I mean, it's a touchy subject. I mean, we still don't have the open conversation about mental health that I think we should be having in a lot of ways, but we're definitely not having it when this movie's coming out. And they're not, I mean, like, we understand that it's part of it, but the movie doesn't really make it as clear as I think just doing the cursory research did, that she was really not okay. I mean, it's clear that he's not okay, but it's not she seems a little bit more high functioning than he does.
I've read everything there is to read about these two and the story, and seen every documentary imaginable. And I find myself falling basically where this movie ended up landing on with Nancy. Like, I bet a lot of people found her annoying. A lot of people found her to be a mooching whatever, right? But I think that was fucking everybody on the scene then.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God. You know what I mean? Everybody's a hanger-on. Like, what the fuck? You can't hate somebody for loving rock music so much they want to be around the music all the time.
Right. And she's a brash fucking American. So she's not going to go over all that well with these punks who are fuck you to everything anyway. But I bet she was really annoying from time to time. But here's the thing. I'm not looking at her from John Lydon's point of view or Malcolm McLaren's. I'm looking at her from Sid's. The movie is looking at her from Sid's. And We're getting Sid from her point of view. And, like, you know what? They bicker and they fight and they go through tumult. But, like, when they're at their best in the movie, it's only when they're with each other. You never see Sid as charming with any other character in this movie. Same with Nancy.
No, if anything, he's really off-putting when he's with the other people. Like, when he's with the rest of the band, it's like, get this guy out of here. Come on. Like, I think he's the worst when he's with the rest of the band. When he's by himself, he's just pitiful. But there's so many people that are like that. Like, there are plenty of people that are like that, the moment they're around people, they're this big act. And then when they're by themselves, they're just like, you're the most sad sack of fucking shit. Like, you're pathetic. And, and I think the dichotomy between the two performances is what I really appreciate about Gary Oldman, because the pathetic side of Sid Vicious is what makes him an interesting character. If he was unrepentant all the way down, which is the way he may have been, I don't think so, though. I don't think he would be nearly as interesting a character, and it definitely wouldn't be as charismatic a performance, because by the end of the movie, you feel for him, and he is the one who's ostensibly been doing everything. Not ostensibly. I mean, again, pretty much has been putting everybody in his life through the paces. So, but yet you feel for him at the end of the movie, which is the success of the movie, and Alex Cox and Abby Wool and Gary Oldman. And I mean, again, and I think you kind of put it best, the idea that Chloe Webb is not just as big of a part of it, because you have to see the way Nancy sees Sid, which is just as important. Like, how could somebody love this guy? Well, let me show you the person who does.
But you know what? That's fine.
Right.
Because they're it.
They're perfect for each other.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It just seems so simple to me. And you know what?
But I'm with you.
I get most people's reaction, and I've read tons of reviews of this movie that just sort of dismiss them as a couple of fucking pathetic junkies, right? They threw their life away, blah, 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 blah. Yes, that happens. It happens all the time. You know what? And some people fucking have miserable lives and they get hit by buses. Finding somebody that you connect with on a subatomic level is rare and amazing. And why this movie is so important to me is because it's all well and good for happy guy with the good job and pretty Sally down the street, like falling in love and having their perfect fucking life together. Yeah, that's the love that we've been getting served to us in every fucking TV show and movie since time immemorial. But you know what? The junkies, their version of love is just as strong as anyone else's and just as worthy of documentation and praise.
This reminds me in a lot of ways of a movie I watched last year that I think certain people's reactions to it are 100% justified, but I don't necessarily agree with it. Similarly to people's reactions to this movie, I get it. I don't agree with it. Is Barfly. This reminded me a lot of Barfly because, again, in that movie, we have, struggling and, suffering alcoholics. In this movie, we have struggling and suffering, drug addicts. The word junkie is terrible, first off, right? Like, it's an awful word.
Yeah.
Calling people junkies is bad enough. Calling them, like, pathetic junkies, right? Like, the moment people start like referring to people that do that have alcohol issues or drug problems as alcoholics and drug addicts and junkies, it's like, whoa, right? Like, we're already probably not having, and I'm not talking about you, but just broadly, obviously, right? Like, we're probably not the right people to be having the right conversation here. So yeah, well, when someone would watch this movie and that's their reaction, it's like, you're probably not even the right person to watch this fucking movie again with, like, because like you said, we're being peddled one idea, especially with our media for a very long time in the movies that we watch about, like, man, wife, house, dog, maybe a cat, picket fence, 2 cars, happy, maybe there's kids, maybe there's not. Like, there you go. Like, there wasn't a lot of room.
I mean, there are shows that are entirely predicated on the will they, won't they get together thing. I don't fucking care about those.
Gives a shit.
If you guys don't have that electric snap and fucking pop that Nancy gets. Here's one of those scenes when we first get the Sex Pistols on stage and they're doing the Monkees' Stepping Stone, and Sid can't even get his fucking bass to work, right? And he just ends up sort of pogoing around on the stage like a fucking idiot. He's in the foreground, completely out of focus, pogoing up and down like an idiot and like spitting beer out onto the audience. And the entire shot is composed of Nancy watching him. And you can see the moment there. You can see her actually fall in love with him there. It's fucking incredible. It's an amazing shot. It's like 30 seconds. Like, I'll put that 1 second next to the trash in the alleyway making out as far as romantic images that are sort of burned in my brain.
Well, and it's, for me, again, like, it's a little ironic, Father Malone, that I'm watching this movie at the point in my life that I'm watching it. I don't talk about my personal life a whole hell of a lot on this show, but my personal life has taken a very interesting and different diversion into the land of no longer with your partner. And so, the relationship that I was in for a decade, it had its ups and its downs for sure. And watching a movie like this, it's like, I get it. Like, I get the love as an addiction thing, because this is something that my ex said to me at one point about our relationship. And it's like, I don't know how to feel when that's leveled against me, but sitting and watching someone else in the throes of it, where it is all consuming and takes over your every facet of your life, because you are like, to speak broadly without speaking specifically, there have been people in both of our lives where we were enamored beyond the belief with them, to the point of like, there's literally no other way that there's anything else ever at all. And now both of us are in a very different position broadly. And it is hard to watch a movie like this, because this movie shows like, and yeah, they went both out on their fucking petards. Isn't that lovely? And it's like, well, it is lovely. You're right. And there's something very romantic about that sentiment, but
yeah, because they did it together.
Yeah, we're right. Exactly. Right. Like, because he's, oh, Jesus. I knew it was coming, and you see it coming from a mile away, the end of the movie. I mean, even if you don't know what's going to happen, you know that this motherfucker's playing with knives, and the playing with knives can't be good. Because again, they're also using hard drugs, which means at one point they light the room on fire. I mean, again, like there's things that are happening here that they're out of their control because they are out of control, because that's part of it. And I don't know. It's just, yes, there is something romantic about two people ending it together, but this movie really makes the case that like, you get to sit in bed with your partner after you've been stabbed and you let yourself die. I get it. But holy shit. I mean, it is like the most romantic thing possible, right? This is what the movie is positing. Is like bleeding out on your partner is the most romantic thing possible, I guess. Letting your love out everywhere, right?
It's a really hard scene to watch.
Yes, that was the roundabout circular way of saying I knew it was coming, and I still went, oh my God.
Yeah, and it's that part of it that you're describing. It's the crawling back into the bed part. It's the fight and the stabbing. Look, that's all conjecture. Nobody knows what actually happened in that hotel room with those two. Only two people. However, there is a very, 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 very good case that there was a third person who actually killed Nancy Spungen. In the movie, Xander Berkeley plays a character named Bowery Snacks, who is their dealer. And I've seen interviews with friends of Nancy who have always said that Nancy was that tough and would fuck you up if she thought you were crossing her, right?
She had to be. She was with Sid Vicious. What the fuck? Why would anybody even question that?
Their theory, and I don't remember all the particulars of it. I'll find it out or something. But what it came down to was they believed that their dealer came into the house to steal because they had gotten some money, and she confronted him and he stabbed her and then took that money and fled.
So it's like a El Duce, Courtney Love, Kurt Cobain thing where it's like there was a third person possibly. I would believe.
This is actually, see, this is actually realistic.
I was thinking of Courtney Love because she's in this.
Oh yeah, she definitely is. She wanted to be Nancy so bad. Thank God she wasn't.
Thank Jesus she was not. My God. Yeah, we really haven't talked about Chloe Webb a whole lot.
Oh boy, I love her so much.
Yeah, she's great.
She's fucking adorable, man. See, that's the thing. Like when you're saying like, they maybe did this or that with the character, whatever they were going to do with the character, they ended up casting Chloe Webb, who is just sweetness personified. So even when she's being her most shrill, like I'm down with her.
Right. I don't mind that kind of shrill. And it makes the scene where she gets stabbed by him so much worse. Like that scene where she gets stabbed by him, I started crying when I watched it, obviously. Because even with what I'm dealing with right now in my personal life, but it is a lot. And then to see the scene where they're in bed next to each other, and it's like, Jesus, movie, like, we needed to go here, and I get why we did. And I'm not saying I don't appreciate it, but I think that if you can't sit and at least acknowledge that this is a romantic movie, I have a problem with that. It may not be your kind of romantic movie, but I think it is, right? like overwhelmingly so. I mean, and I know you agree, but like, I guess I can see why someone would think it's not. I don't think that that's fair, but I can see, and I can also see why this would be off-putting, because this is, you know, I mean, again, the level of grime that the movie is being shot with is, you know, it reminds me of Gus Van Sant in the 90s shooting New York, like, you know, the same level of grit and grime. That's like, well, that's part of it. I don't know what people were expecting. This is Roger Deakins, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it is gorgeously shot. The New York stuff is fantastic. The London stuff is fantastic. Like all that stuff out on the water during the Jubilee, where they're playing, that all happened. You know, there's a lot of condensing of facts, like I said, to to get it all into one movie. You know, this is a digression. I apologize, but something I'm struggling with. I'm a fucking Saturday Night Live fanatic, right? I've seen every episode from every season.
Here we go.
I've read every book on it. I have been obsessed with it, right? So now there's a Saturday Night Live movie coming out at the end of the month. Jason Reitman did a movie about the first broadcast, right? So it's seemingly a 90-minute movie about the 90 minutes leading up to getting Saturday Night Live on the air, right? So just from the trailer, I can already see that they're condensing facts from later seasons and stuff and putting them in here. And it's really bugging me just because I have such an encyclopedic knowledge of the thing. But when it comes to Sid and Nancy, I'm like, yeah, I know that didn't happen then, and then they conflated this fact, and then they moved this around, and they did all this, and I'm like, I don't care, who cares? So I'm struggling with myself now when I'm going to sit down and watch this Saturday Night Live movie that if I give Sid and Nancy a pass, I might have to give Jason Reitman a pass, like the first time I watched that. Anyway, sorry, weird digression.
I would say that I don't think that I think to speak broadly about biopics, because that's the other thing that we haven't talked about, is this is a biopic. And brother, I don't know about you, but when I hear the subgenre biopic, I want to run the other way.
Oh yeah, real fast, man. At
high fucking speed, often downhill, and if not, I will make that uphill look like a downhill. Like I am not. Like biopics and me, I would rather you know what? As much of a fucking nerd as this sounds, I would rather read a fucking book about a real person. I would rather listen to or read a nonfiction book than read or watch a quote nonfiction movie. I would rather watch a documentary about the person, honestly. Like, and to go even further than that, I would probably rather watch a TV miniseries about the person than I would a movie either. Not because I want to subject myself to more, but because when you give some things more space, that is a better thing. That all being said, I think this is a biopic that I can get down with because of what you alluded to. It doesn't necessarily give a shit about making sure that we get to see Johnny Cash going to the airport with the drugs and getting, like, I don't fucking care, James Mangold. Sorry. Like, Joaquin Phoenix is great, but I don't necessarily need to see all of these things. Like, I can just read a book or listen to Johnny Cash talk about it or listen to his music where he talks about it. I don't need to see you don't have to show me. I kind of get it already. And this movie, I think, does a good job in that regard of understanding some things we just don't need to see and some things need to be seen, but the order that they're being seen in may not be important to reality as much as the narrative that we're being told about in the movie.
Oh, I have some thoughts on biopics. First of all, if you're about to make a biopic, you're going to sit down and write one, watch Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story. If any of your script is going to be echoing anything in that movie, then you need to rethink your script. Because
one of the best things Jake Kasdan has ever done, dude. It's so good.
It hits every problem with biopics with a head, and it's sort of zeroing in on Walk the Line, the Johnny Cash thing. And it's funny that you bring it up because I think about that movie sometimes too, where it's like, yeah, the big fucking triumph at the end of the movie is like he goes to rehab and he kicks heroin or whatever, right?
Still loves his wife at the end of the movie is technically the triumph.
Right. But then they don't talk about the relapse in like 1980,
But that didn't happen. That didn't happen to the movie character. That happened to the real life guy.
Right. See, the problem when you're trying to sum up what someone's entire life is, you can't leave out the later unsavory stuff to have your victory earlier, unless you're making a movie about that moment in that person's life. Like, look, the best biopic of all time is Ed Wood. Larry Carrier.
Still never seen it.
Oh my fucking God.
The opportunity that you had this month and we missed it.
Because I assumed you had seen that. That's absurd. Okay. Anyway, what Larry Karaszewski and Scott Alexander have figured out, if you're going to do a biopic, don't make it about their life. Make it about a moment in their life.
which I think for me is I think for me that's always been the better idea anyways. Or to go one step further and kind of maybe like not a step further, but kind of a sidestep to your idea. The ones that I also like are events that have famous people in them. So it's like I mean, Zodiac is kind of one of those, right? Like Zodiac is more of a time and of a place of three people. It is kind of a biopic in a lot of ways.
Oh, it's definitely a biopic.
But like, I wouldn't think you don't think about it immediately. But I also am a huge fan of
think of it as like a drama or a thriller or whatever. Right. But like, if you're painting with a biopic brush, there's a lot of those movies that fall into the category. But
I'm also with you, like a specific time, a specific place, or a specific event. Also, those kind of biopics I think are smart. Like Lincoln. I mean, Lincoln is a very smart biopic because it's not, his whole life. It's like we've ultimately got, for me, as far as I'm concerned, the reason you do a biopic that way and the reason you would do a biopic at all is to give an actor the opportunity to do the fucking thing that actors want to do so well. And like when really good actors are given the opportunity to do something like, they can fucking kill it. And I would want to give an actor an opportunity to play a character or a human or a real person at a specific time and not have to cast 5 different actors. That's the other thing you run into, right? Is you have to co-opt all this time for the one actor for, young Joaquin Phoenix, young Johnny Cash and teenage Johnny Cash. And, it's like, fuck off, get out of here. Like, give one guy the opportunity to do the one thing and have it be leading up to Folsom or something, not the whole life. Like, come on. The wrong kid died.
Yeah, when you pick your actor, pick the age of the moment in that person's life. Don't age them down. Don't put them in a wig that's a little too shaggy. Like
Timothée Chalamet as Bob Dylan.
I'm curious about that one.
Hey, man. Like, what the fuck? Well, no, and he's singing, too. It's James Mangold once again.
Right, I know. He's doing a really good vocal performance.
It's a very understated Bob Dylan, which is needed for a role like that.
It's just that Bob Dylan was a troll and Timothée Chalamet is a little angel, I
know, Bob Dylan, yeah.
Massive
there. Well, and that's the thing. When you cast Austin Butler as Elvis, it's like, okay, Elvis was a good-looking guy, so you cast a good-looking guy.
Yeah, but like Emma Stone as Billie Jean King. Are you kidding?
Kidding somebody. But Gary Oldman, at a quick glance, looks like Sid Vicious with his sunglasses on.
Oh, yeah.
With his sunglasses off, maybe not so much.
When he's on stage and the camera's in the back of the auditorium, yes, he looks just like Sid Vicious.
Yes, very similar. But when you get up close, that's the thing. He has the energy. I think he embodies the energy perfectly. That for me is, I think, what really comes through. And look, like looking like him or not doesn't really matter. I was being facetious because he captures the energy of Sid Vicious perfect, which is much more important in a movie like this. Because these are invocations of these people, less like this is a 1-to-1. Like, come on, nobody. That's not the fucking point anyways. You're telling a love story surrounding these two people.
Gary Oldman hates this movie, right?
Yes. But would you like to tell the audience at home what Gary Oldman hates?
Well, he hates punk rock, first of all. He was never into punk. He didn't like it. And didn't like
I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Didn't like the story. And then I think part of it is that he heard about it forever. I think for the next 10 years, every interview he did included, let's talk about Sid and Nancy.
I really love you in the Sex Pistols movie. The accents in this movie are off the chain, baby. They're all over you get like the dirty scuzz to the non-scuzz. I love it.
My favorite performance in the movie, aside of the leads, obviously, is, I believe his name is Andrew Schofield or Schofield. He plays John Lydon, John Rotten in the movie.
Yeah,
he's great. He's almost a better Johnny Rotten than Johnny Rotten.
He's such an asshole. I mean, they all are. I love it. I mean, look, I guess when you were around someone like Sid Vicious, you probably had your patience worn down real quick, right? Like that's,
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Those two were friends. Like they John got him into the Sex Pistols because he wanted a friend around, like because it wasn't really his band, and I know that John Lydon has to on some level. I don't know to how much to this day, but feels guilty for pulling Sid into the band.
Right. Well, who would?
Fade, But no, I love their relationship. I love how annoyed he can be with them, but like you can tell that that's just John Lydon in general,
right?
And the fact that he's still hanging around with him tells you that he loves him. Like.
Well, that's the thing. Like I was gonna say, like I think we all have a friend like Sid Vicious, maybe as we've gotten older, we should not. But I think we all have like that still. We all might have that one friend who's like kind of just like a lot all the time. Like
You're a dick, man.
Yeah. Like, and it's like, and you know, sometimes I think sometimes I think that you've gone all the way to the bottom of the well. The barrel has been scraped, and yet there's somehow something subterranean here. Like I know someone like Sid Vicious. When I say that there are people out there, much to the chagrin, one of those two people. It's like, you're just whatever universe you fucking came from. I don't think that the world realizes how lucky it is that you're the only one who's here, because we couldn't deal with more than one of you around here. And Sid Vicious, I mean, like, for all of the pomp and bullshit that may have come with him, like, he was a lot as a human being, clearly. But that's okay. It was part of
talking about John Lydon or Sid Vicious?
Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious was a lot. Like, Johnny Rotten, I mean, look, he's still around. He's still kicking it. Like, he figured it out eventually. Like, you know, I mean, and that's the thing. In the movie, it's clear that they're already figuring it out, that, like, we need to stay away from Sid Vicious. He's kind of not able to get his shit together ever.
Yeah, you know, oh my God, you know what? There's so many fucking poetical moments in this movie. Like when Sid is on his downward spiral and there's a John Cale song playing. There's a montage of, like, you know, money tumbling through space and, you know, him on stage too drunk and he's trying to read the lyrics and he can't even fucking microphone. And they cut to John Lydon, who's in the bar just like watching him, and he's just so disgusted he gets up and walks out. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, that scene is particular. Well, Sid, we've got you some performances, and he's just like too drunk to stand, too high to function. Yeah, I've gone there before, but like I'm not expected to go up on stage and dance around while doing it. So Jesus. Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, that's why I said, like, you know, Sid ultimately, like, in a lot of ways, he's kind of I don't know, like, let's talk about the thing that I think is the saddest part of the movie for me, overwhelmingly. And I think I think it goes to the Sid Vicious of it all, really, in this scene. So they go and visit her family. It truly is the best part of the movie. It's like the greatest part of the movie. Because it's like, what would happen if you went and took your crazy significant other with you to your overwhelmingly normal family's house, who, by the way, are still normal, and you are, in fact, no longer normal, if you ever were, because you were probably the black sheep of the family. It's the funniest part of the movie. It is high comedy, but it's also so fucking sad, because the scene where he's passed out in the chair, which is not a great look, and then with drinking peppermint schnapps, of all fucking things, like the worst of the worst things to just be like fucked up on. And she comes in, you know, they come in there to talk to her, and she's just like, oh, why are you kicking it? Like they're trying to, without saying as much, like Harry and the Hendersons are like, we want you to fucking leave. Can you fucking leave now? And it's so
sad. Thought it would be fun for you to stay in a hotel.
Yeah, far away from here, and we'll put you in a cab. And say, it's like, it's the funniest part of the movie, but it's also so fucking sad, because then it cuts to this scene of the two of them sitting in bed. And that, for me, is the poetic scene where they're sitting in bed, and she's just like, because they know me. That's why they threw us out. And he's so nonplussed. He's just like, why'd they throw us out? It's just like, oh man, you're really that gone, huh? Like, all right.
No, but the sadness there is how excited Nancy is to be back home.
Yeah, well, ultimately that too.
And look, they are just being themselves, but my favorite part of that scene is how into it her younger brothers are. Like they're delighted with the spectacle going on in their living room. You know?
Wouldn't you? Like, holy shit! Like, Sid Vicious is in my house. Like,
it must have been great. You know,
it's sort of wild. Yeah, but it's so sad, because you see, as do I, the way sometimes the rest of the world looks at people like us. And it's like, you know, because again, like, it's a microcosm of the rest of the movie, right? Like, these are very, quote, normal, well-adjusted people who can't be bothered to be honest with these two people that are in their house, who have done nothing wrong, really. Like, I mean, they're the most reserved they are the entire movie at their house. Like, he's just drinking alcohol, which, to be fair, how many families at the holidays have people passed out from drinking alcohol in the living room anyways? That's what I don't get. It's like, it's so weird because they're so awful to them for no reason. It's so sad. It's like, again, it's like a microcosm of the way we treat people like this in general. But watching her own family do it to her is just like, it's the worst. It's super sad, because it's like, these are the one group of people in the world that should have your back. And instead it's Sid Vicious who ultimately has your back, which is saying something, isn't it?
Sid, are you gonna make an honest woman out of our Nancy? She's never lied to me.
It's so sad. It's so sad. It's like this guy is so sad. He's so sad, isn't he? He's like the original mopey rock star.
Yeah, but I just love him. Yeah.
No, I know. Like I love how sad and miserable and pathetic he is. It's like that on stage shit was just an act, brother. He was like the saddest dude on the planet, clearly.
I love all the flavors of Sid Vicious. You know, the padlock around Gary Oldman's neck is Sid's.
Right, his real padlock, right.
Yeah, Abby Wool told me like Sid's mom came to set and like gave it to him so they could use it. It's
such
great.
A shame that Gary Oldman doesn't like it.
Yeah, man.
Like that's probably the biggest bummer for me. I get, he just didn't want to do this movie, but he took it because he's an actor and working actor, and it's a fucking role and whatever, and he did a good job. But like, just a working actor playing Sid Vicious in a fucking movie. Look at the rest. Be a working actor, I guess, baby.
Look at the rest of his career, though. Like he doesn't come close to one of these roles anymore. You know.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you, because again, the Gary Oldman of it all. What is for you, like, is this the quintessential Gary Oldman role? And if it's this one, let's remove this one from the equation and let's talk broadly about Mr. Gary Oldman, who again in this movie is very Gary Youngman. Good rap group, Barry Gary Youngman and Gary Oldman.
Here's the thing about Gary Oldman: he was very actorly in his younger years, right? So
thespian, even thespian.
He put in some really great performances, but I think he's gotten better and better with age, which I guess is the point of life. Right. But if I were to point to his early performances, I find myself, I think him and Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. Like that's the one I think of when I think of young Gary Oldman. I don't even think of him in Sid and Nancy. I just think of Sid Vicious when I think of this movie. Gary Oldman kind of doesn't even factor into the movie anymore in my mind. You know what I mean? Like I have to be.
It's part and parcel.
I have to be reminded of Chloe Webb's name. No, not I don't. You know what I mean? I know.
But I get you. Like they're just part of it.
If when I put the movie on, it's Sid and it's Nancy, and that's all there is to it.
Right. It's not Gary Oldman as Sid. Gotcha.
So from early performance, I would definitely say Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead. From like the 90s Gary Oldman, probably Fifth Element, just because he's so weird in it and appropriate. Like I think he's at his
The Professional.
I was just about to say I think he's at his worst in The Professional. I think it's funny, Chris. I went to see an early screening of The Professional. For bookers, for movie theater bookers. And I went with my pal Cardi, and we walked out of the theater, and I said, "What'd you think?" And he said, "I think Gary Oldman's going to die." Because that was like at the height of all of his problems. Like that was when he was at the most drunk and drugged out and stuff. Like he went to rehab directly after that movie.
Gotcha.
But I just thought that was really funny. Like, yeah, he looked kind of rough. Like that didn't seem all like performance there.
He was not. Gary Oldman was in fact not having a good time.
Everyone. That's a great moment. I get
sweating for me, really.
Oh my God, he's so sweaty in that movie.
That's all I think of when I think of that movie, is him just being sweaty as fuck. Like,
and then late era, I guess I think of him as Commissioner Gordon. I thought he was a really good Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah, I mean, I think I've been watching stuff about those Nolan Batman movies. I don't know why, but it's kind of made me want to rewatch them, only because, like, not to give them another chance per se, because look, I'm not going to sit here and be like, they're not good. It's not that they're not good movies. Just don't like that version of Batman. Like it's a Batman. I think now I could probably look back at it removed from everything and go, this is a Batman of a certain time, of a certain place for post 9/11 America is really what it's for. Like Batman as a tool of the U.S. government broadly, or, government broadly, especially in that fucking second movie, which is kind of part of the whole point of that movie.
Interestingly, the Nolan Batman movies kind of echo late 70s Batman in the comics. That's when they kind of turned Batman into James Bond. That's when he moved out of Gotham City, and suddenly there's the League of Assassins, and then there's, Ra's al Ghul and all that shit. And to me, that was the most boring run of the comics, and consequently the most boring run of the movies. If Batman isn't patrolling around Gotham beating up penguins, I don't really give a shit. Like I don't need him going to Hong Kong or something to like pull people out of skyscrapers with jets and like, what the fuck is happening here?
It's Iron Man. I mean, I mean, again, I go back to the thing I think I said on that Batman Returns episode. How did nobody just go, the really rich guy is Batman, right? Like,
yeah, right. Yeah,
and now in those movies, it's like super fucking obvious. Like the rich guy with all the money can make the cool cars and flying things. Like, and then he disappears. In Dark Knight Rises, like, what are you guys, a bunch of fucking morons? Like, there are conspiracy theories in our world right now that are less tenuous than this. Like, you fucking idiots. Like, my God, come on. Oh, millionaire disappears, superhero disappears in the same day. Might have been the same person. I don't know.
No, couldn't
Never.
be. You know, that's the problem with DC in general is that they're still stuck on
secret identities.
On secret identities. Yeah, I thought that was the real innovation with Marvel. Like, that's why that first Iron Man movie is so fucking important, is because he's like, I am Iron Man. From now on, our heroes are going to be our fucking heroes, and we know the perils that come with our families and all that shit, but we're confident enough in our heroism to fucking triumph. And meanwhile, over at DC, Clark Kent is still trying to fool everyone with fucking glasses.
What? Superman? Clark Kent they're not the same person? Have you ever seen them in the same place at the same time?
Good Lord.
That digression aside, Gary Oldman's great in those Batman movies. But I mean, you know how many people are in those Batman movies? Like fucking Gary Oldman, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, Cillian Murphy's in all three. Like, there's so many people. It's like at the end of the day, it's like those movies are a trove of riches anyway. So of course they're good. Yeah, I don't know. Gary Oldman, for me, there's the Harry Potter of it all. Sirius Black is a fine performance.
It's the Han Solo of the Harry Potter movies.
It really, well, even less than Han Solo. Han Solo is kind of a cool character. Sirius Black has a cool name. And they allude to
a cool character.
He's more cool in the books than he is in the movies. The movies allude to a lot of cool stuff. The books actually play it. I mean, you know what I mean. Like,
why you cast Gary Oldman?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah.
You know what? If I could have that wanted poster where he's like kind of like shrieking it. Yeah, if I could, I would put that on my wall. That's pretty great.
I was gonna say that is one of the iconic pieces of Gary Oldman technology. And by the way, motherfucker, 2014's RoboCop did in fact star Gary Oldman. I was right, and you like talked me out of it. And I was like, wait a second, no, he plays the guy who makes RoboCop.
Right.
Michael Keaton plays the CEO of Omnicorp. Oh. Christ, why did we need any of them?
We didn't. It was a terrible idea and execution.
Joel Kinnaman, everybody.
And I love Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah, he's not terrible. I don't think any of those, well, there are of those actors. Sam Worthington is one of the ones.
What was that show? Did you watch that show with Joel Kinnaman?
The Crossing? Is that the one?
Crossing? No. It's a murder show.
The one with Gillian Anderson, or the one that was in in his native Sweden?
He was in the original Swedish one, and then he was in the American remake. I'm talking about the American remake.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe we are talking about.
He's great in both. It's called like The Killing or something.
The Killing.
Yeah. TV series.
Yeah. I have not seen it, but I mean, he's great in that Suicide Squad movie.
Bro, you got to watch The Killing, bro.
This is Katana. That's him, though. This is Katana. Oh, God. That is Joel Kinnaman, for the record, everybody. God.
Oh, man, he's great. He's great. Look, imagine being forced to say those words, and like he did. And like, well, yeah, we're making fun of it, but not because of him.
No, the line reading's solid. Yeah, Gary Oldman, he's been in a lot of stuff. They haven't gotten him into the Marvel yet of it all, but he's been in the DC, so he doesn't have to. He's getting money still. He's getting that.
He did his time in Superheroville.
Yeah. Yeah, they can cast. I actually, what's funny is if I sit and think about it, he also looks the most like Commissioner Gordon out of any actor that's ever played him. Like the comic book version, at least for a certain time in a certain place. Like, yeah, just the glasses and the hair and the facial hair, just everything. It's like, yeah, kind of Gary. It is kind of just Gary Oldman.
Yeah, I mean, look, all we've gotten beforehand is the horrible, the 66 version, which is fine because it's a comic book. But then, we had Pat Hingle as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
In the Burton movies, did he carry over? Was there a Commissioner Gordon in the Joel Schumacher movies?
I think it was Pat Hingle. And Michael Goff come back for those subsequent films. Yeah.
So then the next one we get is that dude, Gary Oldman.
Yeah, Gary Oldman. And then after him,
and then we got Jeffrey Wright, who's a really good.
But there was one in between.
Which one was that?
That was the Snyderverse one. The Ben Affleck had a Commissioner Gordon. Do you remember who was Commissioner Gordon?
It was J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
buff J.K. Simmons in a slouch hat and a fucking trench coat.
Well, they had to put him, now that he's buff, he can be Santa Claus. That was the long con. He's like, I want to play Santa Claus, so I'm going to get buff to play Commissioner Gordon, because that's what people wanted. Commissioner Gordon who could break the Joker's neck.
Yeah, I'm looking at him like going like, who needs Batman? Get out of the way,
yeah, he's yoked, motherfucker. You got this doughy Ben Affleck over here. J.K. Simmons is bending steel off to the side.
Look, J.K. Simmons is great, but he's already fucking Perry White, and that's all he needs to be.
He's not Gary Oldman.
Excuse me, J. Jonah Jameson. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, right. God, he is the perfect J. Jonah Jameson. Gary Oldman, like, I think he is the perfect Commissioner Gordon. I think Gary Oldman, look, and because that's the other thing, like, his personal problems aside, of which he has had many, that resurfaced when he won his Oscar. I think Gary Oldman's a great actor, and I think that this movie is carried by two great actors, because like we've already alluded to, Chloe Webb really is probably better than Gary Oldman, really. I mean...
Oh, she definitely is.
She's been given less opportunities to be the star actor in stuff. I mean, again, Holiday Inn, Paramus, like...
Yeah, she look. I know.
It's crazy to me that that's what I know her from. Like it is because like I said before, like I had to sit and like stare at her a bunch and be like, oh, okay. Like I've never seen her in anything where anyone's given her any time to do anything. It was like a fucking throwaway gag in Ghostbusters 2.
When I saw Ghostbusters 2 in the theater and she came on screen, I went like, "Well, hey," like that, and everyone in the theater turned and looked at me.
That's what I was gonna ask. Like you had to have like recognized her because this came before that.
Oh, yeah. I love when she's in it. The only other thing I can really think of her in was Practical Magic. She's one of the aunts in Practical Magic. Oh, and she was in...
Oh, my God, you're right. Wow. Yeah, you're right. Okay, Practical... I'm going to be watching that next month.
Yeah. Oh, hey. Yeah. That's a good movie. What are you doing? That's a good movie.
Broadly, I'm excited to talk about it, but it's also one of those movies that next month was programmed 8 months ago. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, wow. Super duper fun, as we would all say. Like, see, I was able to avoid it with January of this year. I was able to pivot, but then October, it's like there's not any real pivoting out of this because all of these are too obvious choices, and it's like
The Practical Magic is a good movie.
I didn't remember. It's her and Stockard Channing, right?
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, she's great. She was also in a movie that I liked when I saw it initially, and then when I rewatched it, I was like, what were you thinking? A movie called Queen's Logic. It's sort of like a slice of life, a bunch of fucking jamokes in Queens, and like it's so.
Oh my God! It's got Kevin Bacon. Is he doing a Brooklyn accent?
You'd better believe everyone is doing a Brooklyn accent in that movie.
Linda Fiorentino. Hey yo.
Chloe Webb. It's just like, oh my God.
Well, she was also, Chloe Webb was also in the award-winning American Film Institute classic Heart Condition, the film where Bob Hoskins plays a cop and Denzel Washington is a ghost. Yes.
Yeah. I remember that movie.
Oh, geez, Louise. Yeah. But you know what? Like, I think, like we both kind of already alluded to, she's better than Gary Oldman because I think you expect less from her, and she has a lot more heavy lifting because he's clearly having the time of his life. He may not have liked performing as Sid Vicious, but he's having a good time. The version that they do of My Way in the movie is, I think, for me, the scene of the movie. Right?
Pretty great.
Yeah, quite good. It's
another of those moments, another of those poetical moments, because that's in the movie The Great Rock and Roll Swindle, his version of My Way. Like that was filmed for their movie. But it certainly doesn't end with Nancy coming up those stairs and then those lights clacking off one after another. Oh my God, it's so gorgeous. Here's other beautiful moments in the movie. During the boating sequence at the end, they get back to the docks and the police are raiding the boats, and it's just a 2-shot of them pulling them, and it just stays on them the whole time as they slowly descend the gangplank, move across the dock, and then ascend another gangplank up onto the street. And everything around them is total motherfucking chaos, with everyone being beaten and like dragged off by the police, and everyone's running and screaming. Police are chasing people around them. It's like I don't know. I mean,
yeah, I get it. I get what you're getting at.
Okay, so not only that, but the
movie did the heavy lifting for you in this situation.
For that scene in particular, like if I don't know, like I don't like to say things like you don't have a heart if that doesn't do it for you. But like if that doesn't do it for you, then I don't know that I can talk on a romantic level with you, like like that. It's yeah, it's just amazing. And we haven't mentioned the music for this movie. Obviously, it's wall-to-wall Sex Pistols and a couple of other covers, like some Iggy Pop covers and stuff like that. But the actual music for the movie, it was written by Pray for Rain, which is a little band consisting of Abby Wool's brother, I believe Xander Schloss is in that band. And so that anytime you hear an instrumental track, well, that's not true. Anytime you hear, this is hard because the music is credited to Pray for Rain, Joe Strummer, and the Pogue, right? So when Sid Vicious does Heroin for the first time, there's a track playing, that's the Pogues, but like that fucking gorgeous wide angle lens scene of when they're touring America for the first time, where the bus keeps disappearing under the hills and the helicopter is flying behind them, so gorgeous. That track is called Chinese Choppers. That's Pray for Rain. I just want to mention how awesome Pray for Rain is as a band. Like, they're completely unheralded. They only did a few soundtracks, but I encourage everyone to seek them out. I'm sure you can Spotify playlist them or something, but like all of their work is so evocative and wonderful, and in the scene we're talking about as well.
I love the music in the movie. I mean, and I love that they actually had Gary Oldman sing. Yeah, he does a good job. Punk music wasn't about being able to be the most talented at singing, and so it was about the most energy that you could bring and the kind of what you're doing on stage. And I think Gary Oldman personifies Sid Vicious well enough, and I think the voice is close enough. Close your eyes.
No,
it's like not
his
whiny
voice,
enough.
That's the thing.
Is it not whiny enough? Is that what it is?
Of course, he has a better singing voice than Sid Vicious. Like, all you got to do is listen to the end of Goodfellas. That's the Sid Vicious version right there.
Yeah. I mean, I was gonna say that's what ties this to a movie that is important to me, is the end of Goodfellas with My Way, which is the best version of the song as far as I'm concerned.
Is that the best version of My Way? Yeah, probably.
It is for me. It's the version that makes the most sense because of the juxtaposition of the punk with the fucking original.
To be honest, I listened to this soundtrack version more than I've ever listened to the Sid Vicious one.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I had the Great Rock and Roll Swindle. Like, it's one of the first CDs I bought. I was so excited. I went into
Outback Disc.
Yeah, Tower Records on Newbury Street in Boston. I bought the Great Rock and Roll Swindle as an import. I was so stoked because I got a cassette with the Bill Grundy interview, which is they featured in the film where they cut to a clip of them on television, like being interviewed, and like Steve Jones is like, leaning into the camera and like swearing. That was a famous thing that happened on national television in Britain, I guess, in '76, the Bill Grundy thing. I think they made an entire movie about that.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's not surprising.
Like a BBC TV movie or something like that about the Bill Grundy interview.
Starring Bob Hoskins as Sid Vicious. In the role he was meant to play, baby. I don't know who would you cast as Sid Vicious in the 90s? Like,
in the 90s? I don't know.
Yeah, like say we took this movie a couple years forward. We still cast Gary Oldman.
Yeah, of course. No, I don't know, because by '93 he's all looking fucking pretty bad, man. I mean, he's baby faced here. It works. Like,
yeah, he's treating himself pretty poorly.
He looked too bad to play a junkie.
You know what they say, Gary Oldman? You might not have liked playing Sid Vicious, but you sure did live the lifestyle there for a while afterwards. So maybe it's like that Austin Butler, like his voice became Elvis thing. Like Gary Oldman just became Sid Vicious for a while. I couldn't let him go.
No, probably not.
Sid's still in me. Oh, I feel him. He tugs at me heartstrings.
No, because, like the next year he's doing Rosecrans of Guildenstern. Like, are you? What's your name?
Yeah, hello. Yeah. It's so different compared to this. Like, God, good Lord. Anything else we want to talk about with Sid and Nancy?
It's just endlessly beautiful. I mean, filmmaking wise. Yeah, there's so much gorgeous photography in this movie. So many beautiful scenes in the movie. And the ending, obviously. Like, that's, to me, I walked out of that theater so elated, so uplifted at the end of a murder-suicide.
Right.
It was not lost on me how good I felt walking out, having watched a murder-suicide at the end of this movie. And maybe that's what Alex Cox is like saying, in that he fucked up the ending. Like maybe he couldn't have had the taxi cab to heaven, but you know what? He did have the goddamn taxi cab to heaven. And here, Pray for Rain returns with that's a Pray for Rain track called Taxi Cab to Heaven. And oh my God, I cried so fucking hard when that cat, I might do it now. When he leans into that window and she's in there just smiling. She's so excited to see him. It's kind of everything you hoped the afterlife would be.
And they don't have to say anything to one another either, which is the part that I really appreciate. There's no button put on it. No, nothing.
Her look to him, his look to her. That's it. Like, That's what life's all about, right?
I think so. I mean, that's why, like I said, I'd never seen this movie before, but I've watched it several times the last couple of days, and I wonder how I would have appreciated it 6 months ago. Let's put it that way. And now I have to appreciate it in a completely different context, and that is okay. But I think, to your point, this is an immensely romantic movie in a way that one might not think when you immediately pitch it as this kind of story. But I think by the end of it, if you're not on board with it, you probably want to go watch something a little bit more pastoral, because this is not going to be your speed. So
there's something about apocalyptic love that just gets me where I live. Love in the face of everything ending is the greatest kind of love.
And if it's self-imposed apocalypse, even better.
Amen.
That's the only kind.
It's all we're really, we're out. So we keep being promised an apocalypse, and it just keeps not coming. I wish these doomsayers would get their shit together and fucking name the date already.
I was about to say, because I think I've gone through some personal apocalypses this year, and I didn't see those dates anywhere. So maybe they could have changed a date and looked a little harder. But the reality of an actual apocalypse is a lot less, I guess, real to me than the personal one, which, this is what this movie's kind of getting at. Like, when your love with this person is so kind of nuclear that it destroys everything and anything around you, you kind of don't care. It's kind of okay. That's kind of the point. It's all consuming, which, I get it. So, Father Malone, I'll give you the last word, and then we'll go to ads and a preview for the second to last episode for September.
This isn't everyone's cup of tea. I get that. And I don't expect anyone to have as important an impact on their lives as this movie had for me. All I can hope is to encourage people to see it and see romance from a different point of view, maybe. And I don't know. I ultimately, it'll resonate with the people it's going to resonate. It's like we were saying about, would this movie inspire somebody to go do heroin? No, probably not. But would it resonate with somebody who thinks that love can be like this and that's acceptable? Then yeah, then that will affect them, but not in any kind of negative or self-destructive way. Like, this movie doesn't make me want to throw my life away for love either. You know what I mean? Like, this movie just highlights the importance of it. So go see Sid and Nancy.
We'll catch you on the other side of the break.
I'm Susan.
And I'm Sharon. And we're the hosts of 80s TV Ladies.
Check us out wherever you find your favorite podcasts.
And please like and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at 80s TV Ladies.
You can find interviews and exclusive behind-the-scenes content on all of your favorite 80s TV ladies.
80s TV Ladies is the place to go. Please join us.
80s TV Ladies.
Hi, this is HP from Noise Junkies.
And this is Father Malone from Dark Destinations.
Please join us as we examine one of the greatest sitcoms in television history, Taxi, on Night Mr. Walters, a Taxi podcast.
Good night, Mr. Walters.
Good evening, and welcome to Night Gallery.
Thank you, Rod. And I want to welcome everyone to Midnight Viewing, where once a month we talk all about your follow-up to The Twilight Zone, Rod Serling's Night Gallery.
They say it's Rod Serling's Night Gallery, and it isn't really Rod Serling's Night Gallery, it's somebody else's.
Oh, we know. We talk about it a lot. Your curators at Midnight Viewing are the projection booth's Mike White.
What can happen to human beings when trust is wiped out by suspicion?
And Kulturecast's Chris Stachiw.
Small boy encased in a crystal ball.
And I'm Father Malone.
The kind of thing that usually infests nightmares.
Join us monthly at midnight viewing the Night Gallery podcast at weirdingwaymedia.com.
Doesn't remotely belong to me. I have no proprietary interest in that at all.
There are things known and things unknown, and in between are the doors. An Oliver Stone film.
Love it when you see me.
The Doors, rated R. See it March 1st at theaters everywhere.
So that's right. On the final episode of September, there will be a bonus episode available at patreon.com, which you can check out for the $5 level or higher. $10 or higher gets you ranking on Bond, which Father Malone has also been on. But that's right. On the next episode of the Kulturecast that you can find on the normal feed, it's going to be The Doors, another movie about music.
Biopic.
We were two movies. You could have done like a half biopic month. You had half of it. Batman Returns and The Untouchables. I'm actually, brother, you programmed 3 of 4.
Yeah.
Untouchables is kind of a biopic.
Yeah.
And especially the kind we were talking about, of a specific time and a specific place and a specific event even.
That's true.
You
And
did it.
Martin, you could consider pretty autobiographical about George Romero because he was a young vampire.
And now he's just a vampire.
Yes. I hope he's out there right now sucking someone's blood.
Living his best life in upstate New York.
The ultimate irony about the undead life of George Romero is he did not become a zombie. He became a vampire.
Right. Wouldn't that be a fucking shame? He just looks around and he's like, God damn it. But you will be joining me on the episode for The Doors and for Martin. So until then, Father Malone, where can people find you and your audio wares?
Well, definitely tune into that Doors episode because I have an interview with screenwriter Randall Johnson.
An interview on a Kulturecast? That's a first in a very long time.
I know. Well, I needed to talk to him very badly about that movie. You can find me at weirdingwaymedia.com, same place you can find this show, and you can find it on all the podcatchers and all that thing. That's Midnight Viewing. That's the show Chris mentioned at the beginning. I do twice a week. Monday, I do a wrap-up show, or weekly roundup, as it were, of new and streaming features, and sometimes very, very old features. I do that with my dog, Ripley. My little pug co-host. And on Fridays, we have an alternating show, the Horror Anthology Podcast, which is a horror television review show, which Chris and Mike White from the Projection Booth and I do. Right now we're doing Tales from the Dark Side. And you can also hear Anthologies Attack, which is about anthology movies of every variety, which I co-host with Antonio Lapour. Check me out over there, Midnight Viewing, everybody.
And as for me, you can find me at Weirding Way Media. Like Father Malone mentioned, that's the only place that you can find me. You will not find me down at your local wares store buying underwear like Sid Vicious, because that man wore some interesting underwear.
Oh, beautiful stuff.
Beautiful stuff. You won't find me there, but you'll find me at weirdingwaymedia.com. Like, rate, and review this show on iTunes, please. That is the best place to leave a review. Pretty much the only place. And Father Malone, thank you for programming the month, sticking around, doing the month. You don't have to do it if you program it. It's not a requirement, but I appreciate it when everybody does. And as always, catch you on the next episode.